Oh my gosh, they were so nasty, these people. I had never seen anything like this. Look at how much stuff they had accumulated. Mind you, they were only there for like 2 days. So you already know, as soon as I seen what they was trying to do, I was like, y'all immediately gotta get the heck up out of here. The amount of filth, my poor maintenance man, he was just like, what the hell? Look at that. It had backed up into the toilet. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all part two.
What is that? Why is it brown in the tub? Did y'all take a number 2 in the tub? Did y'all take a number 2 in the tub?
And then there was another girl sleeping in the bed who literally broke the bed. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. She literally broke the bed frame. It was only so much that he could get out of the actual toilet. The rest he had to kind of push it through.
I'm not giving you any pass. Don't give a damn how old you are. No. Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host Fahim, and today we got some more TikTok content. This is a story time about a sister who apparently had some squatters break into her Airbnb. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get into it.
Story time on how I had the clumps try to squat in one of my Airbnbs. If you're considering doing Airbnb or you already do Airbnb, do you know that squatters are not a normal thing? Most cases, you get regular people who just look for a clean, safe space to lay their head while they're traveling. However, every blue moon, you will get trifling, nasty people like these who think that your Airbnb is going to be their new home. So initially, how I found out that they was trying to squat was they had messed up the toilet. These, I'm trying not to call them idiots, but that's what they were. They put like literal washcloths down the toilet. How you do that, I don't even know. But my maintenance man had to come look at the toilet. And so something in my mind was like, you need to go and just look at the apartment and make sure everything was okay. When I got there, this is what I saw. When I tell y'all, these was the nastiest. Oh my gosh, they were so nasty, these people. I had never seen anything like this. Look at how much stuff they had accumulated. Mind you, they were only there for like 2 days. So you already know, as soon as I seen what they was trying to do, I was like, y'all immediately gotta get the heck up out of here. Look at them. Ain't no way. They only booked the stay for 4 or 5 days. Ain't no way you thought you needed this for 4 to 5 days. They have moved another bed in there. I'm telling you, like, they were not normal people. When I say they wasn't normal people,
I can
mean
slide
they
on the
was
floor
demons.
from the amount of
This
grease
is
that's
how
on the floor.
nasty. The floor was greasy. Like, I was sliding around. That's how disgusting it was in that room. I can laugh about it now, but during this, baby, I was calling them people everything but a child of God. Because I don't live nasty, right? So I was never used to seeing people live this nasty.
Sister washed her hands as soon as she put that little container into the sink. I feel her. Let's keep going.
I have multiple Airbnbs and I have never had guests like this before, right? I've heard about it, I've seen it, but I've never had guests like these. It's like you do get occasional guests, right, who are nasty or who damage the towels or, who are not as clean. You know what I'm saying? Like that comes with doing Airbnb. I'm used to that. But the amount of filth, my poor maintenance man, he was just like, what the hell? Look at that. It had backed up into the toilet. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all part two.
What is that? Why is it brown in the tub? Did y'all take a number 2 in the tub? Did y'all take a number 2 in the tub? Come on now, let's keep going.
So yes, unfortunately, I had to call APD to get them out of the apartment because they were not leaving at this point, and I'm about to give y'all the rest of the story. So just stay with me, y'all.
Off Brown Land Police Department. How y'all doing? Good. Hey, there. Parent here, you don't.
So I did have to call the police on them. So initially, when they first got there, right, I get a call from the mom, and the mom is like, oh, everything looks great. The apartment looks just like the pictures. Everything's so clean. We love it. And we're actually thinking about extending our stay. First red flag, right? And so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's great that you love everything. And so I asked her, I was like, how long are you thinking about extending your stay for, right? And so she was like, oh, probably another 2 weeks or something. We're not too sure yet. We're just trying to see what we're gonna do. Mind you, the apartment was already booked up by other guests for the next like 2 weeks. So they wasn't gonna be able to stay for another 2 weeks anyways. But could you imagine what that apartment would have looked like had I let them stay for another 2 weeks?
And although I'm not familiar with everyone's individual situation, I've never personally heard anybody staying in an Airbnb for that long. That extended period of time, that is a very long time to stay inside of an Airbnb. But again, everybody's situation is a little bit different. Obviously, they had ill will given that they were squatters and they were not trying to leave. I have my own experiences with Airbnb as a company that were not good. I might share that at the end of the video, but let's keep on going.
So I let her know, I'm like, well, we'll see what the schedule is looking like closer to y'all checkout. Mind you, I said they was only supposed to be there for like 4 or 5 days, so not a long stay at all. So a day goes, so that day, the rest of that day goes by, nothing. Another day goes by, nothing. On the third day, I get a call at like probably like 8:30, 9, something like that in the morning, and it's from the mom. And so the mom, she's like, yeah, something's going on with the toilet. It's not flushing and it's backing up into the tub. Never had no issues with the toilet or the tub before. This is the first time. It's a brand new tub. It's a brand new toilet. Everything in that apartment was brand new. All the appliances, everything was brand new. And so I'm like, that's odd. I'm like, were you guys stuffing things down the toilet? Like, how did it start to overflow? She's like, no, we weren't doing anything. It just started overflowing after my son went to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, let me call my maintenance guy over there to come check everything out. So I called a maintenance guy over there. I'm like, hey, they saying there's something wrong with the toilet. Can you go check it out? But in the back of my mind, I'm like, let me get dressed and head over that way just to take a peek and make sure everything is okay. Because something was telling me in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Something about these people is weird. Let me just go and see, right? So, about an hour later, because the maintenance guy, he got there before me. So about an hour later, I call him, right? I'm already en route to the apartment, but I just called the maintenance guy because I'm like, I haven't heard him say anything, and I just want to make sure and really see if I need to go over there or not. And so he like, it's a mess. It's terrible. These people got this toilet. It's just a mess. And so I'm like, oh, God. So at that point, I'm not too far from the apartment, so I just instantly like, okay, yeah, I have to pull up, of course. When I walked into that apartment and I seen all of that stuff in there, I was like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? I was like, I was at a loss for words, right? And tell me why. This is how you know that this is what they do. Like, they're professional squatters, right? Because why, when I walk in, the mama on YouTube looking up how to fix a toilet? I'm like, you know you messed stuff up. I'm like, I got a whole plumber here and you looking up on YouTube how to fix a freaking toilet? Because you know that you messed it up. So, Okay, I'm trying to speed this up. So I'm like, I'm not trying to hear none of that she talking about, right? She trying to show me videos. Oh, all you have to do is this. It says here that all you have to do is turn this valve. I'm like, girl, I don't want to hear nothing from you.
Ain't nobody trying to hear none of that. You broke the toilet. Broke the toilet. Sitting your big butt on that toilet. Broke the doggone toilet. All kinds of stuff in that toilet. Now you want to show me YouTube videos talking about just turn the valve, just turn the valve. No, if you wouldn't have sat your big butt on the toilet wouldn't be broke.
Y'all gotta get up out of here. That was my exact words, right? Because I was still trying to keep it cute at this point. So I'm like, y'all gotta get up out of here, period, right? So the mom, you could tell, like I said, you could tell that this is what they do, right? Because the mom was like, she was like, okay, well, let me try to call somebody to come pick us up. Mind you, I said it was a mom, a dad, and 3 kids. The dad, I don't know where the dad was. They said the dad was at work. Whatever. Mom just sitting her big back self in the room, laid up in the bed, eating cereal. Okay? So, I'm like, do whatever you gotta do, but y'all gotta get up out of here. So tell y'all. So at that point, I started walking around. I seen how it was a bed in there. One of the girls in there laying. Girl, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really trying to tell this story, and I'm just thinking about what I was seeing when I went in there. It was so crazy, right? So at this point, ain't no more talking. Like, y'all gotta get out of here, period. So this is the crazy part. So the mom, right, she like, let me try to go walk to the gas station to see if somebody can pick us up. I'm like, you got a whole cell phone. What do you need to walk to the gas station for, right? Craziness. So she tells the kids to start packing stuff up. And I'm kicking stuff. I'm throwing their stuff out the door. I'm like, y'all got to get up out of here. I'm like, I'm about to help y'all pack this stuff up because it's ridiculous. So, the mom walks out, y'all. Why the mama leave? The mama leaves saying that she about to go walk to the gas station. So she leaves. So it's me, my plumber, and the 3 kids at this point. Y'all, why, when everything was happening, why the mama never came back? The mom never came back. When I tell y'all I never seen her again, she never came back. So the mama leave, the kids is packing up the stuff, and at this point, this is when I'm going through and doing all of the videos and stuff, just showing y'all how nasty it was. It's food everywhere. It stank.
I'm going to let you know right now, the mother spoke of the family having a father. That family doesn't have a father in that doggone house. Let me tell you something. If the mother was willing to leave the children, the father definitely left them doggone children. Let's keep on going.
The kids is like, they packing up, right? They like, this is what they do. The kids is used to it. They just like, on to the next spot. So the kids packing up their stuff. Meanwhile, I'm going off on them while telling them to get out. Okay. So then, as they're packing their stuff up, I'm like, somebody gotta come get y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need these people to be out so I can get my cleaners in here to get this place fixed. And so the kids, they moving slow as they lagging. It's just pissing me off just even thinking about how they was just acting in an apartment. But anyways, I'm like, y'all gotta get out. The oldest girl, she like, let me call my dad, see where my dad is, and maybe my dad can come. I'm like, you gotta call somebody. You gotta call somebody, because if not, I'm gonna call the police, because it's just me in here with 3 of somebody else's kids. The mama done disappeared. The places are already a mess. Y'all got months. Y'all got a whole house in this 2-bedroom apartment. It's 5 of y'all. It's only supposed to be 4 of y'all. Y'all already done broke all the rules. I want y'all to get out. Y'all ain't moving. Y'all moving slow as heck. Like, get out of here. So I called the police. Like, maybe the police can, like, be a helping hand to get these people out of this freaking apartment. So let me wrap this up. So the police come, and the police is like, technically we can't just throw them outside on the street. And I'm like, why not? I'm like, this is my apartment. My name is on the lease. Like, they're trespassing at this point. No?
I believe it's something along the lines of squatters' rights. I'm not all familiar with it or even the terminology, but I believe it's squatters' rights where you can't just kick somebody out on the street after they've been living in the area for so long. I think. I may be completely wrong, but let's keep going.
And so the police is like, okay, give them an hour, let the dad show up and get the rest of their stuff out. And then if they don't leave in an hour, call us, we'll come back. I only got a few seconds left. So, long story short, the dad shows up. The dad just is sloppy, is trifling. Girl, and then I told y'all that they all packed up in a clown car and left. The dad shows up in this old broken down truck. The truck is missing a window. He got a trash bag in the window. I'm like, what the hell? What type of people? Girl, I'm gonna try to come back again and get y'all some more. Okay, so the dad shows up, right? And I'm going off because I'm pissed. I'm like, I'm questioning. I'm going back and forth a little bit with the dad because I'm like, you a grown man. I'm like, look at how y'all living. And on one hand, I did kind of feel bad for them because I'm like, dang, like, obviously they're struggling. Obviously they don't have a home. Obviously it's some real demons that they battling. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, I was like, God is not gonna bless y'all with a home. Like, y'all, look how y'all treat stuff. Y'all not ever gonna have a house. Y'all won't ever have a nice car to drive because look at how nasty and filthy and trifling y'all treat other people's stuff. So why should you have your own home if this is how you do other people's stuff, right? So the dad like it's not even dirty in here, and all of this stuff was already like this. I'm like you're an idiot. I am like, you're actually an idiot. Because what are you talking about? It's not dirty. Y'all seen the video of how that apartment looked, and he talking about something. It's not dirty.
That man don't got eyes. He don't have a nose. I know it's funky up in there. She said it was grease all on the floor. What was the grease? What was this mystery fluid on the floor? That's nasty, bro. That's disgusting.
So at some point I realized, like, okay, I'm arguing with somebody that's actually, and I'm not gonna keep going back and forth with him. So at this point I'm just like, I'm helping them, right? I told you I'm bagging up stuff, I'm pouring stuff out of the taking stuff out of the fridge, pouring it in the sink. I'm doing whatever I can to get them out. Because like I said, I told the dad, I'm like, y'all got an hour to be out of here, period. The police said y'all have an hour to be out of here. Y'all have to get out. Get out. Everybody was dragging their feet. And I'm like, y'all have to get out. So at this point, my cleaner is there. And she's kind of trying to clean around them, right? So at this point, they're packing. When I tell you I don't even know how they all fit in the car, y'all. When I tell you it was like a clown car situation, because they put all of that stuff into a car. It wasn't even like they had a U-Haul, a moving truck. No. I don't know what type of car. It was like an SUV type of car, like an old SUV with the window busted out. They packed all of that stuff into the car. They put the little twin-size bed that y'all seen. They put that on top of the car. Okay, so eventually, they did get out. After all of that, luckily, me and my cleaner, we were able to, my cleaner, because I couldn't be in there. I couldn't even look at, I had to go. So my cleaner, she, her team, they cleaned everything up, and we got everything pretty much back to normal. But I swear to you, y'all, them people had a stench. I couldn't even get the stench out of that apartment. Like, we was doing anything. We was leaving the windows open, spraying all types of stuff. I was literally boiling Fabuloso, like boiling chemicals. Like, you know, you're not supposed to do that. I was boiling chemicals because it was just the stench of them was still in the apartment. It was like I could just smell them. Ugh. It smelled like freaking onions and freaking just nasty funk. Like, ugh.
And what's even worse is it's not like the Airbnb didn't have a shower. If you all were showering, even if you all showered the night before. Y'all wouldn't have been that funky the day that this situation occurred. The day that all of this transpired, you all would not have been that funky, even if you showered the day before. You really should be showering every day. But that means that y'all was just in there rolling around and you stench nasty. Let's keep going.
So, mind you, I said their stay was supposed to be like 4 or 5 days. They only stayed for those really 2 whole days. So it was enough time, thank God, for me to like get it cleaned. My cleaner, she like did something to the sheets to make sure it wasn't any bed bugs or anything. When I tell you we went crazy on the cleaning because of just how nasty and trifling it was. The toilet was so much of a headache. I'm gonna insert a picture of what came out of the toilet so you can see the washcloths that they literally put washcloths in the toilet. Like why would you do that? I just, anyways. Yeah, so the toilet, the maintenance man, he had to literally work on the toilet for like, I think like maybe like 3 days, like maybe like 3 to 4 days. He could not get the stuff out of the toilet. It was that backed up because they literally put whole washcloths in the toilet.
My question is, what is the incentive for them to do this? Like, what is the reason why they did this? I understand that they're squatters and whatnot, but what was the reason of them just trashing everything? It was because they were resentful that they were getting kicked out. But it seemed like they were doing all of this before they were notified that they had to leave, right? I mean, to trash a place, you have to be a professional trasher to trash the place that quickly between the time that she arrived and the time that she called you all notifying you to get out. I mean, that's something else. Or the time that the mother notified her that the toilet was bagged up. You got to be a professional trasher to do this. So y'all were just trashing the place the entire time. That's disgusting. Also, this is exactly why it's important to have your own stuff, have your own house or have your own apartment, etc., etc., etc. Because if you do not, you don't know who was in this Airbnb that you're sleeping in before you. Like she just said, people are coming in after these people. People are coming into this Airbnb after this family. So having to sleep in there, and they have no clue that place was just absolutely filthy before they arrived. Let's keep going.
It was truly an ordeal. I had never experienced nothing. Oh, one of the daughters had a hospital bracelet on. The son was sleeping on the couch because they couldn't all fit in the bed. Okay, my Airbnb has a 4-person occupancy. It was 5 of them. So the son had to sleep on the couch. One of the girls covered up the whole twin mattress by herself. And then there was another girl sleeping in the bed who literally broke the bed. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. She literally broke the bed frame. When I tell you they was the clumps, I'm not exaggerating. I'm so serious. This was the craziest thing I ever experienced, y'all. And like I said, I have had Airbnbs. Like, you get your typical person that's not the cleanest. But this was on another level. This was like something I had never seen, nothing like this. And it was just crazy to me how they did all of that in 2 days. It was crazy to me. They did 2 years worth of damage in 2 days. So this was only some of what the maintenance man was able to get out of the toilet. It was only so much that he could get out of the actual toilet. The rest he had to kind of push it through to the main drain so that it would go through the main drain underneath the building and kind of empty out into the sewer or like underground or something like that. But look at that. That's not no toilet tissue. That's not paper towel, because eventually paper towel and toilet tissue would have eventually dissolved from all the water and the drilling. Those were whole washcloths. And along with it being washcloths, the maintenance guy also said when he went underneath the building to see what else came out on the other side, It was sanitary napkins. It was more washcloths. It was paper. Like they was just having a field day, just flushing stuff down the toilet for fun. And y'all keep saying like, oh, they were kids and the kids didn't deserve that. I mean, I get that, but these were not little kids. The boy, it was two girls and one boy. The boy was about 13, if not 14. One of the girls was 15, and the other girl was 17, who kept swearing up and down that she was technically legal and she was their guardian while the parents were missing.
I don't give a. Hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop. I said I was gonna try to mitigate the cursing, bro. I don't care if these folks was 5 years old. I don't care if you was a newborn, bro. You're not doing this to my property, man. Excuse me. You talk about some people in her comments talk about some. Oh, they just kids. I don't care. This is my property. I gotta pay for all of this. She gotta pay them cleaning ladies. I believe she gotta pay that maintenance person. She got to deal with all of this, not to mention all of the things that they probably missed when cleaning that they couldn't catch, given that another set of people were about to come and live in this Airbnb soon. That's crazy, man. I'm not giving you any pass. Don't give a damn how old you are. No.
So they were very aware of what they were doing. At that age, you should know what you put down the toilet and what you don't put down the toilet. So I just wanted to show y'all you see that big machine right next to the debris because he had to use this huge. And another thing, I was doing such a good job at ignoring most of the silly comments that were under my video, but this comment in particular really struck a nerve with me because you can tell the people that just go based off what they think about what God says and what he didn't say and who he'll bless and who he won't bless versus the people that actually open up their Bibles and read what God really said. In this comment, she says, some need to be humble. I get what was done to your B&B, but to kick somebody out, but to kick somebody when they're down is wrong. Talking about their car, and who are you to say what God won't bless them with? God has a blessing for everyone. That sounds just like the prosperity gospel that y'all listen to every single Sunday, that God has a blessing for everyone. Even the sinners and even people that blatantly disrespect God, God still got a blessing for them though, right? Okay.
No, and then the undertone of that comment is that their unfortunate situation takes precedent over me, my life, what I'm going through at the time, and how I will be impacted by their inconsideration. Are you crazy? No, man. Yes, it is very unfortunate that you are in a low down situation. That does not then justify mistreatment of other people, and that does not then mean that you are placed in terms of precedence over me, such that I have to deal with all of your trauma and problems and all of the things that you cause in this goddamn Airbnb. Let's keep going.
In part 2 or part 3 of my video, I was explaining to the father of the 3 kids, I was explaining to him that God was not going to bless him because look at the way that he treated my property. God was not going to bless him with his own home for his own family because look at how he was treating my property. Look at how he was treating the little that God had given him and expecting for God to give him more. That's not how it worked. So if y'all think that I was wrong for saying that, let's go to scripture and see what God actually says. Since I'm wrong, let's go to scripture. Let's read it together, class. This is Luke chapter 16, verses 10 through 12.
Sister never pulled out the Bible. Sister got biblical on y'all. Let's go.
Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? I don't have to make this up. And you gotta know that I'm never gonna lie on God. I am never going to lie on God. If I say that God said something, I can back it up with what's in his scripture. Let's not play those games now. And I promise you, I will be the first one to admit that I handled a lot of that situation out of anger. And I think that any normal person would have been angry in that situation. Am I saying that I did everything right in regards to handling the kids, in regards to handling anything? I would say, honestly, I'm going to say that I handled it pretty well. Because I know a couple people, okay, that would have went upside everybody's head. Anyways. Also, I just want to note that I am one of the most empathetic people ever. I promise you. I don't care how I came off in anger in my videos because I had to relive a situation that was very traumatic for me. But I am the most empathetic person ever, right? So some people are commenting like, obviously they were on bad terms. Obviously they were homeless. They didn't have a place to go. All of that's understandable. I wasn't even mad about all of the stuff that they had in that apartment. Because at the end of the day, if you need somewhere to put your stuff, then it is what it is. I was so mad about how filthy and about how careless they treated everything in the apartment. Just because your situation is bad does not give you a right. It does not give you permission to trash someone's stuff. What y'all don't understand about that, I don't know. Nothing that they did to that apartment was justifiable. Nothing that they did to that apartment was showing appreciation for having a place to lay their heads. So I wholeheartedly stick by what I said when I said that God would not bless them because of the way that they handle stuff currently. And obviously you guys can see that I was able to back that up with the word of God. Stood on big business. So I digress. There's nothing else that can really be said after that. I'm also done commenting on this, y'all. I am not going to be criticized by people who don't even read their Bible. And that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Now what?
So, what do you guys think about this story time? I think that she handled the situation as well as she could have given the circumstance. If somebody came and trashed your home, somebody came and flushed a whole bunch of stuff down your toilet, knowing good and well it was not supposed to be there, clogged your toilet up, broke your bed frame, done all of these things to your home and made it absolutely filthy and disgusting to exist in, you would be just as upset, if not more. There's only so much sympathy that you can show someone. There's only so much pity that you can give before it's just outright mistreatment, regardless of how unfortunate their situation is. That's the reality, and that's the hill that I'm willing to die on. Because this is ridiculous. You got greasy floors, unknown fluids on the floors. She's slipping and sliding on the floors and stuff. That's disgusting. Now I'm in a position where I have to clean up my property for the next people that are going to come and live here. And let me speak on that for a moment. This is why it's so important to have your own home, to have your own apartment, to have your own things. Because this kind of thing happens all the time. Airbnbs, hotels, what have you. This is why it's important to sanitize down rooms and to Lysol down rooms once you enter. Because you don't know who was in there last. Yeah, maintenance and the cleaning ladies, they could do an amazing job, but that doesn't then mean that all of the germs are gone. You don't know who was in there last. They could have funked that place up. Funked it up. And so you want to take all of the precautions that you possibly can. if you are in a situation where you got to live in an Airbnb or go to a hotel. In this situation about her not being empathetic and things like that, foolishness. You being a kid, your youthfulness, again, does not justify mistreatment. It doesn't justify inconsideration. Especially given that the youngest, I believe she said, was 13. 13 years old? And you don't understand the common attributes and traits of human decency, of morality, of being considerate, of being, just aware of other people's things and property? Are you serious? Y'all were just flushing stuff down that toilet. You talk about you got entire towels down the toilet. How in the world you get a whole towel down the toilet, man? And it's all brown. Look at the bathtub. Oh my goodness. Just trifling. And now look at this. Having to call the police. Having to call the police to my home, the Airbnb that I have, to have you removed. Do you know how irritating that is? Do you know this sister could have been doing something else in her day? Do you know this sister, you're disrupting her mental health. You're disrupting her day. I know I would be upset. I'd dang sure be upset. I could have been, I don't know, if I were married, I could have been out with my wife, having an outing with my children. And yet I got to deal with this foolishness. You come into the house and mucking stuff up. But let me know, do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think it's absolutely disgusting that she was put in this situation where she had to deal with these absolutely unruly individuals? Or do you guys think that she should have conducted herself better, not have called the police, and possibly handled it with a bit more etiquette? Thank you for tuning into this Clocked Out Conversation. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!